And of course, Mike, you can imagine well that this is front page news here in Beijing and across China, this first of state visits by U.S. President Donald Trump. And, you know, there have been a lot of questions about what U.S.-China relations would look like under U.S. President Donald Trump. And we learned something very important over the last 2 days, and that is this: that Donald Trump doesn't just use tough rhetoric, he uses a lot of charm.
U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump officially welcomed to the Great Hall of the People. Chinese President Xi Jinping, fresh off the 19th Party Congress, is riding a wave of confidence in his leadership. Trump, burdened by scandal and low approval ratings, is buoyed by his warm reception here.
Nothing you can see is so beautiful. I just want to thank you for the very warm welcome, and I look forward to many years of success and friendship.
But after the ceremonies and symbolism come the face-to-face negotiations. It's a true test of whether the world's two largest economies can make progress on halting Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program and bilateral trade. Trump told Xi the China-U.S. trade relationship is unfair and unsustainable. But the man who blamed Beijing on the campaign trail didn't do so face-to-face.
I don't blame China. After all, who can blame a country for being able to take advantage of another country for the benefit of its citizens?
Xi acknowledged the $347 billion trade imbalance between China and the United States, calling on Washington to address the problem by increasing bilateral trade.
We need to further expand trade and investment cooperation, strengthen macroeconomic policy cooperation, and proceed to healthy, stable, and dynamically balanced economic and trade relations.
China remains a major market for the 29 CEOs who accompanied the U.S. president to China. Thursday, they signed agreements worth more than $250 billion in areas such as natural gas, auto parts, and aircraft. But progress proved elusive on additional concrete steps to stop the DPRK from advancing its nuclear program. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson later told reporters that China is fully implementing the United Nations sanctions.
The two sides will continue to fully and strictly implement the UNSC resolutions. At the same time, the two sides commit to working towards a solution through dialogue and negotiation.
Trump asked Beijing to play a greater role on bringing about those negotiations.
As long as we stand together with others, if necessary, against those who threaten our civilization, that threat will never happen. It doesn't even have a chance.
Both President Xi Jinping and President Donald Trump now head on to a major regional economic conference in Vietnam, where both are expected to share their vision for economic cooperation in the Asia-Pacific.
And Mike, we expect to hear two very contrasting visions of the economic future of the globe and the region itself. And that is that President Xi is expected to really focus on that Davos-type approach that he gave earlier this year when he spoke about a multilateral framework, a globalized world. And of course, President Trump is most likely to speak about America first.